Hello and welcome back to Pihowa Network, where we explore the fascinating post-independence history of Africa. Today, we arrive at the giant of Africa, Nigeria. Why is Nigeria called the giant of Africa? With over 200 million people, Nigeria is the most populous nation on the continent, home to hundreds of ethnic groups and a powerhouse in culture, politics, and the economy. Its journey post-independence hasn't been easy. Let's dive in. Nigeria is a country in West Africa. It shares land borders with the Republic of Benin to the west, Chad and Cameroon to the east, and Niger to the north. Its coast lies on the Gulf of Guinea in the south. Effective from 1st January 1900, the British government took control of the Royal Niger Company's territories. These were renamed Protectorate of Northern Nigeria and Protectorate of Southern Nigeria, respectively. The two protectorates were consolidated in 1914 into the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria under indirect rule. While the North remained under heavy Islamic influence, the South adopted Westernization, including Christianity. The Southern Protectorate was later split in 1944 to create Eastern and Western regions, with Northern Protectorate becoming Northern Region. In 1944, Herbert Markley and Nnamdi Azikiwe formed the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroon's NCNC. The party operated mainly in the Igbo-dominated Eastern region. Obafemi Awolowo of the Action Group dominated Yorubaland, Western region. Internal self-government was granted to the Eastern and Western regions in 1957. Northern region, dominated by the Hausa, gained internal self-government in 1959 under the Northern People's Congress (NPC) of Ahmadu Bello. General elections were held in 1959, leading to a coalition government between NPC and NCNC, leading to independence on 1st October in 1960. Abubakar Balewa became executive prime minister with Azikiwe as Governor General of the federal nation. Later, in 1961, the northern portion of Trust Territory of the Cameroons joined the northern region of Nigeria. Nigeria became republic on 1st October 1963 with Azikiwe as ceremonial president and Balewa as executive prime minister. Underlying ethnic tensions crept in following the 1962 census. Dissatisfaction followed the 1965 election, leading to a failed coup against the federal government in January 1966. Balewa was murdered and Johnson Ironsi took over as a head of state. His attempt to abolish the federal system led to anti-Igbo riots in the north. Trouble escalated and the northern officers staged a counter-coup in which Ironsi was murdered. The military installed Yakubu Gowon as head of state. His efforts to maintain national unity included dividing the three regions into 12 states. In 1967, the Eastern military governor, Odumegu Ojukwu, declared secession. The Republic of Biafra was proclaimed in the East and civil war followed. Biafra surrendered in January 1970 and Ojukwu fled to Cote d'Ivoire. Gowon led a post-war reconciliation process. Using oil boom proceeds, he initiated recovery programs but was overthrown in 1975 by Murtala Muhammad. Muhammad was assassinated in a failed coup of 1976 and was replaced by Olusegun Obasanjo. In continuing with his predecessor's plan to civil rule, Obasanjo promulgated a new constitution. Various political parties emerged to contest the 1979 election. The National Party of Nigeria, NPN, under Shehu Shagari, defeated the Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN, led by Obafemi Awolowo. The NPN government became corrupt and lost public confidence. Amid gross electoral flaws, Shagari was nevertheless re-elected in 1983. He was overthrown later that year by Muhammad Buhari, who declared war against indiscipline. Buhari's efforts bordered on human rights violation, leading to a bloodless coup of 1985. Ibrahim Babangida took over and introduced a transitional program toward civilian rule. In 1993, his government created two political parties, namely the Social Democratic Party, SDP, and National Republican Convention, NRC. Elections were held the same year, with Moshood Abiola of SDP and Bashir Tofa of NRC as contestants. Babangida cancelled results widely believed to have been won by Abiola. An interim government was installed but was overthrown by Sani Abacha. Abacha reversed most gains towards the rule of law, bringing to question issues of national unity. The rights of indigenous inhabitants of Niger Delta were violated. Further, Abiola, who had declared himself president, was jailed in 1994, where he died in 1998. Abacha's sudden death in 1998 opened doors to restoring democracy. His successor, Abdulsalim Abubakar, set a timetable for a return to civilian rule. Political parties were formed, such as the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the All People's Party, APC. Obasanjo, a former military ruler, contested as the PDP candidate and won in 1999. Amid alleged irregularities, Obasanjo was re-elected in 2003. Ethnic tension, silenced under military rule, soon resurfaced. Proponents of Islamic Sharia became active, while residents of Niger Delta protested exploitation by petroleum multinationals operating in the area. A border dispute with Cameroon, also involving oil-rich Bakassi Peninsula, was ruled against Nigeria in 2002. It was, however, not until 2006 that Obasanjo finally agreed to comply with the ruling. Obasanjo fell out with his deputy, Atiku Abubakar, and the PDP had picked Umaru Musa Yar'Adua as the 2007 flag bearer. Yar'Adua defeated several candidates, including former military leader Buhari and Atiku. Unfortunately, Yar'Adua was struggling with health issues. His prolonged absence for medical treatment abroad raised issues on his fitness to rule. His deputy, Goodluck Jonathan, was made acting president in February 2010 and took over following Yar'Adua's death later the same year. Amongst Jonathan's priorities was peace negotiations in the Niger Delta. He also vowed to improve the electoral process. Jonathan again won the 2011 election against his main opponent, Buhari, and vowed to crush Boko Haram, an Islamic movement prevalent in the north. Due to its cross-border operations, fighting Boko Haram became a joint effort with neighboring countries. Boko Haram became a campaign issue in the 2015 presidential election. Buhari won the contest due to his passed credentials, and became a civilian president. A new cause of insecurity arose when herders clashed with farmers in central Nigeria. Unrest continued in oil-rich southeast, with militants disrupting production. The reactivated Biafran secessionists marked 50 years since declaring ill-fated independence. It was yet another test of democracy in 2019 with Buhari ran against Abubakar. Buhari was re-elected to complete his 2 terms after fighting corruption. He carefully managed the COVID pandemic and its economic effects. At the end of his tenure, he vouched for Ahmed Bola Tinubu as preferred successor. The 2023 elections were meant to be more transparent with the use of biometric voting. This was not to be as challenges resulted in low turnout. Tinubu was declared winner and the opponents took to the court for redress. The victory was upheld. Nigeria's post-independence history is a tale of resilience, from the scars of civil war to the triumphs of democracy and cultural dominance. What did you find most interesting about Nigeria's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell